Hello everyone, this is Money Mom. Welcome to the channel. Today I want to chat with you guys about extreme ways you can save money on your groceries. Let's get started and talk about it. These ways would be if you are really struggling, could be for loss of job or any other reason. It's good for all of us to be prepared in case we have to live an extremely frugal budget if you're not currently living that. So the first way, number one, and I did a video on it last week, and I can tell you if I just made this one change, it would save between $2,000 and $3,000 a year for our family, give or take. Cut out all drinks. I mean coffee and everything. The only thing you're going to be drinking, not bottled water, is water. Many of us might actually feel better, and it might be good for our health if we drank just water anyway. So no coffee, no pop, no juices, no fun drinks, nothing. That means not going out for coffee drinks as well. So just drinking water. That's number one. That would save tons of money if we did that. Number two, this one might seem opposite of what you would think, but not buying fresh produce. Now maybe it's just me. I go out and I go shopping. I actually don't like a lot of the fresh produce. Much of it doesn't even taste that good. You bite into an apple and it's kind of mealy. You buy a thing of strawberries and maybe there's 4 good ones out of there. What I do instead, and it's so inexpensive, is I buy frozen veggies. Let's say you have a $25 budget and you wanted to buy some veggies. You could buy one of these a day. These are about $1 a bag. And so you could buy, that's $7 off your budget. You eat one of these a day, that's 4 servings of vegetables right there, and all it has in it is veggies. So that would be another way. Now the third way is going to be controversial, and many people are going to say, Dawn, this is not healthy. Some of these ideas may not seem healthy to you. I do have to say the first two are pretty healthy. Number 3, a lot of people will buy butter. Butter is quite costly. You could buy margarine instead. I've actually never tried margarine. I grew up in Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes, and so we always had Land O'Lakes butter. So I've actually never tried margarine. If you do use margarine, is there a big difference in taste from margarine and butter? I'm just curious because I've never had it. Another thing, you could use imitation vanilla rather than real. There are little cuts. Now, I'm not saying it's the very best thing. I'm saying if you have to go extremely frugal, there are options. Okay, number 4, once a month grocery shopping. I had a friend of mine that grew up in a big family. They went once a month and bought everything. And not only that, they actually cooked all of their lunches, breakfasts, dinners, and prepared a bunch of things and portioned them all out for family members. They took an entire day and did all of their cooking for a month. They had a system down where they could do it pretty quickly, but they would spend all day doing it once a month, and that's how they saved a lot of money. They'd shop once a month and they'd prepare all of their food, and then they'd have some leftover foods too, like just in case you needed something or you extra portions, they'd have them on hand. And then this way, when you come home from a busy day, you've got portion controlled meals already ready for you. Speaking of portion, boy, we know that I haven't been following the guidelines for portion, right? Well, honestly, I think many of us, and I know I am, if we started actually reading what a portion is, I think many of us would be quite not very happy about it, let me just say. Because a half a cup here, and you're like, what? A half a cup of trail mix is 200 calories or a fourth of a cup? We would be really surprised. If we actually ate portions of all foods from all the food groups, I think we would be really amazed. Many people always say, oh, the food pyramid is outdated and it's terrible, and the American diet is just horrible. Well, what is probably not good about the American diet isn't so much what we're eating, it's the quantity of a lot of the foods we are eating. Now, we all know, staying away from processed food and sugar would be a really great thing for everybody. But if you're going to have a bowl of cereal may be 3/4 to 1 cup. It's not 4 cups or a ginormous bowl or half the box. That would be just an example. If we actually ate portions and we actually portioned everything out, we would save tons of money. It would take getting used to, but that would save a lot. Number 6, I wrote down a lot of meal ideas. Okay, oatmeal, very inexpensive. You could make oatmeal, and if you need some protein, you could put a scoop of peanut butter in that. That would save a ton. My husband told me that this lunch meat kind of, it's Spam-like consistency. He said this was $1.50. You could make a lot of meals just out of this, and obviously not buying a lot of meat is going to save you a lot of money. But if you do buy it, maybe just put little tiny portions in there. So let's say you really like ground beef, you're going to split that up into 4 portions and put a fourth of it in things, and then fill it up with, vegetables such as, mushrooms, canned mushrooms, beans, things like that, and mix that up and use that as a filler. But I still think the portion thing would be good. Another thing, guys, saltines. These are so inexpensive. You can make little things with a little bit of Spam and with a little bit of cracker, or put peanut butter on crackers. That could be a nice meal. This box of cereal is generic. I think it was $1.34. And let me tell you how many servings is in this. It is 8 servings. And so for $1.34, 8 servings, that could be your whole week if maybe you're tired of oatmeal. These are just a few ideas. One thing that I want to mention to you guys is, and I won't lift this up and bring it over because my thumbnail is going to be a picture of this. I made this soup from a ham bone in here. I had all this leftover broth and I didn't want to throw it away. So I used my broth. I had some old potatoes that were starting to kind of go bad. I had some carrots that might have gone bad if I had left them in there much longer. And then I had some ham bone, I had some corn, and I just had a bunch of stuff. You know what? I just threw it all in this big pot here and call it soup. And it's delicious, and it actually makes its own broth. So I had all these different leftover broths from different things, and I wasn't using it. I thought, how can I use it? You can make a huge pot of stew. There's also another thing you could do if you don't want to do once a month cooking, is at the beginning of the week, you could make some stew or some soup, and make your own broth from all these veggies and things, and just throw a bunch of things in there. And I did that with my cabbage soup, and every day you keep adding things. You could literally eat on that all week long, and that would save you tons and tons of money. Another thing, and I don't have it here, I made some chili. I used a little bit of meat, but I used a lot of beans. And when it was getting where I didn't have that much meat and things in there, I just added more beans and more tomatoes and things that were less expensive, more spices, because spices aren't expensive, and added that, and that chili lasted us all week long. So if you make something big like that, it can last for the whole week, and it doesn't cost very much money at all. So huge pots of soup, huge pots of stew, chili with a lot of veggies, beans, possibly beans and rice. That's not something I make normally, beans and rice, but I definitely like them. That's something else you can do. You can make all of your snacks. I made these peanut butter bars, and what I did is I cut them up into little small pieces like this, and I portion them all, and I put them in several different containers and put them in the freezer. You've got snacks for the entire month. So that's something else that you can do. Another thing is, when you are grocery shopping, really put a lot of thought into what you're buying and think, is everybody in the house going to eat this? Because if you don't have much money for a budget, you don't even want to waste $2 on something that you're going to bring home and not that many people are going to eat. So that's something else. That's why at the end of my grocery hauls, I'm like, okay, what's in here that could go back on the shelf? That saves me at least $3 to $5 a week just doing that. Last week it saved me $7 because I put back 3 things that I didn't absolutely need. Another thing that you could do is see if your community has food that they're not using. There is so much food waste, it's just horrible. But there's sometimes that people will put food out on the side of the road, canned foods. Look around your local community to see if people are donating food. That can really help out a lot, because people don't want to waste food. They want to share their abundance with you, and you might be able to, hey, they're not eating this cereal, they're not eating this rice, and you might be able to use it for your family. So see what your community has to offer, rather that you use it than it end up in a landfill. And I really hate wasted food, and that's something that I'm really working on right now. So these are just some of the ideas that I know would save our family tons of money. Just the drink part would. I don't know if my husband and I are willing to give up coffee, but that's all I have to say, guys, for now. I want to hear from you. If you had to cut your grocery bill in half right now, what are some things you would cut out of your budget? That's all I have to say for now. Thank you for listening. I love you. I appreciate you. And I sure hope to see you on tomorrow morning's video. Bye-bye.